Okay, this video we're going to discuss England's first attempts at colonization. Okay, so we've discussed Portugal and Spain's exploration of the world, we've discussed the search for the Northwest Passage, and now we're actually going to discuss England's first attempts at colonizing the New World or North America. So Queen Elizabeth I gives permission to Sir Walter Raleigh to explore and claim land in North America. It was Sir Walter Raleigh's idea that rather than going back and forth constantly, to actually set up a colony in North America. A colony being a group of people living in this new world that respond to England, are English citizens, but yet living in this new world and sending resources back to England. In turn, they will get supplies and resources and things that they need from England. So Sir Walter Raleigh receives a charter from Queen Elizabeth I. A charter is written permission to explore, settle, and govern new land. And you can see the definition of charter right there. So Sir Walter Raleigh is given this charter from Queen Elizabeth I to explore, settle, and govern land in North America. So the first attempt is the attempt at Roanoke Island. And Sir Walter Raleigh sends about 100 men to settle Roanoke Island. They name this colony Virginia, after the Virgin Queen Elizabeth. Queen Elizabeth was not married, did not have any children, so they named this area Virginia. This didn't last very long. There were troubles with natives, lack of food, and a harsh winter, and it forced all the colonists to return to England. But they were able to learn some of the mistakes they made in this first attempt. So here you have the Roanoke Island, is this colony right here, okay, just off the coast of North Carolina. What becomes the first permanent colony is Jamestown, which we'll discuss in the next video, but you can see they're not very far from each other, okay? So the second attempt at colonizing Virginia, after that first attempt, they brought back maps, they brought back some resources that are there, so Walter Raleigh thinks he has this figured out, and so he decides he's going to try this again, okay? He is going to try to, once again, colonize this land of Virginia. Now, Virginia at this time is the land south of Canada, north of Spanish Florida. So it's basically all of the land along the Atlantic Ocean that is part of the United States today. Okay, so south of Canada, the French controlled Canada at the time, and it's north of Florida. Florida is controlled by the Spanish at the time. Okay, and it's anything east of the Appalachian Mountains. So you're looking basically at what we come to know as the 13 colonies. So in this second attempt, Raleigh chooses John White as the leader. There are 91 men, 17 women, and 9 children head to Roanoke Island. So already it's different than that first attempt, because the first attempt there was only 100 men. While they're there, John White's daughter gives birth to a girl. She's the first English child born in North America, and they name her Virginia Dare. Okay, Virginia after where she was born, Dare being her last name. And if you actually were to go to the coast of North Carolina, there's a Dare County, okay, named after Virginia Dare. Okay, so this is the second attempt that Raleigh has established. Now, Raleigh is back in England. Sir Walter Raleigh is not there. He has sent people over to do his job that he has decided to establish this colony. So John White is the leader of this expedition. Well, once again, the colonists quickly begin to run out of supplies. And this, of course, is always an issue. You know, they can only bring so much with them on these boats. They get there. So White decides he's going to go back to England and pick up more supplies. Before he leaves, he tells the colonists, if you have to leave where we are located currently, this is where I know you're going to be, leave me some sort of clues. Leave me some maps, leave some carvings on trees, leave some sort of an idea of where you went. You know, if you head south, carve on a tree an arrow pointing towards the south, I will hopefully be able to find you. Now remember, this is a long time ago. There's no cell phones, there's no things like that. So that he has to be able to find them with limited information. Okay, so if they're forced to leave for any reason, they're going to leave clues. So what happens is John White heads back to England. While he's in England, he gets caught up in the war between England and Spain. It's the English Navy versus the Spanish Armada. It's a very big war that lasts for a long time. These two countries are trying to control the seas and to control North America. Okay, because remember, Spain first had claims over here. Now England is starting to claim over here. So White is gone for almost 3 years. When he returns, the colonists are gone. There's no colonists where he left them. The only marker White sees is the word Croatoan carved on a tree. And here's a picture of John White showing to the people with him, and this is an artist's interpretation, but basically they had carved Croatoan on a nearby tree. Now, Croatoan could be many things. It could be a group of Native Americans. It could be another island. John White's not very sure. Okay? So, Croton, he's basing on the fact that it's an island about 50 miles away from Roanoke Island. So, he tries to sail 50 miles south of Roanoke to look for the people where he thinks are at the Croton Island. When he tries to sail there, there's a hurricane. He can't get there. Okay? John White has to return to England. He can't find the colonists. This colony, the Roanoke Island colony established by John White, becomes known as the Lost Colony. Okay, they're never found, and it becomes known as the Lost Colony. It was lost. We couldn't find it. There are many theories as to what happened to the lost colonies. We're going to talk about many of these theories in class, but hopefully this gives you some basic information on the Lost Colony and its idea of what happened, the original settling of Roanoke Island, and Sir Walter Raleigh's idea of this first attempt of establishing colonies in the New World. What are the results of the Lost Colony? Well, Raleigh's attempts at establishing colonies were considered a failure, but they learned some important lessons. They need to have investors. That's one of the most important things they learned. They need to have money. It can't be just one person trying to provide resources and supplies for these colonies. So they have this idea that we need to have a joint stock company, a company owned and funded by many investors. It'd be like all of us in class starting a company. We all donate $1 or $2. Okay, it'd be better than just one person trying to start this company. It'd be hard for them to generate all that money. But if all of us were contributing money, when the company made money, we'd all make money. And when you think about stock today, people buying stock in a company, when that company does well, the person who invested in that company will do well. So investors are people who put money into a project or company to earn a profit. So by having these joint stock companies, people back in London are hopefully going to be able to earn money by investing money in these joint stock companies. And the Virginia Company of London becomes the joint stock company created to finance future English colonies in North America. So it's the Virginia Company. It's a company trying to establish colonies in Virginia, and it's located in London. So it's the Virginia Company of London. It's a joint stock company created to finance future English colonies in North America. So we will explore this more as we look at our next couple